Becoming a School Librarian, My Journey, What I've Learned, and Where I Am Going. My father was a high school teacher in my hometown, Monroe, Connecticut. My mother was a trained secretary who eventually worked as a reading aide in an elementary school. Most dinner conversation revolved around school politics or what we children did at school. I was destined to work in a school. I just took the long way. I was born in the mid-1960s. I have fond memories of listening to stories during my childhood. When I was 6 years old, we moved to Australia for 2 years because my father participated in an international teaching fellowship. My first vivid memories of libraries are from after we moved back into our house in Monroe. In school, we were able to choose books every single week, as long as we remembered to bring the others back. At the public library, we took out more books and attended story programs. The children's librarian was young and vibrant. It was a great place. I remember my first mystery book, The Bobbsey Twins. I read it on my way out to visit some relatives and tour the national parks out west. The book started a 3-year mystery jag that included the Bobbsey Twins, Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, and the 3 investigators, in that order. The Monroe Library had them all. When I finished, I started the biographies with the A's. At home, we had a set of encyclopedias. I considered it my job to enter the dates of death of the famous people. Somebody had to do it. I had my own cataloging system for the few shelves of books my family owned. Each book had a sticker on the spine with the first letter of the title. In 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial. I joined the Bicentennial Book Club that met at the Chalk Hill Middle School Library on Mondays after school. My friends and I read books like My Brother Sam is Dead. We learned about Nathan Hale, and we went on occasional field trips. That year, I also joined the Junior Historical Society. I volunteered to work at the Bicentennial House Tour, and I was assigned to the home of Ed and Lorraine Warren, the ghost hunters. After explaining the house's 7 levels, asking people not to touch a specific door, and staring into the eyes of the Raggedy Ann doll that I had seen in the newspaper, I didn't sleep well for a long time. Of course, the library had books about the phenomena I learned about on the tour. At Massac High School, I spent most of my study halls, lunches, and before school time in the library. I did my schoolwork and passed notes with my friends, but I never checked out a fiction book. Personally, I just didn't want to risk accruing fines. I loved libraries and everything they stood for, but I knew I couldn't admit that I wanted to be a librarian. I wasn't a bun lady like the lady who scowled at us and asked us to keep the noise down. I wasn't as nerdy enthusiastic as the short lady with the big glasses. Librarians were quiet, and I didn't see myself as quiet. I was normal. I went to college. I chose to study home ec and went to SUNY Oneonta because there was a teaching option. Also, there was no suicide bridge like my other choice, Cornell. I worked in the dining hall in my dorm, but spent much of my spare time at the college library. I cruised to the sports section of the local paper so I could discuss baseball stats with the guys. I found materials for my research projects. I discovered out-of-the-way carols where I could study for my classes. I asked students who were working at the library how they got their jobs. Work study. Bummer. I wasn't eligible. After graduating from college with a general studies degree and lots of education credits, long story, I worked in 3 different corporate offices and helped a family friend prepare income taxes. Finally, I got fed up and decided I really want to be a librarian. I worked part-time doing taxes and part-time at the Derby Public Library while earning my master's degree in library science at Southern Connecticut State University. It was a stretch financially, but I made it work. My first full-time library job was to create a children's program at the Huntington Branch Library in Shelton. During that time, I got married and had a son. After a few years, I quit my job and stayed home and substitute taught before getting another job as the Children's Services Librarian at the Monroe Public Library. While there, a gentleman who taught at Abbott Tech came in frequently asking for book suggestions for his classes. He informed me that there was an opening at his school. I applied for the job, and the rest is history. From working in libraries, I've learned many things about myself. Here are a few. First, I'm a good listener. Sometimes being a librarian is like being a bartender, except our commodity is books instead of beverages. Many people come to the library to be heard. Next, people think librarians are organized. I'm a great multitasker, and I know how to organize, but I don't allow myself enough time to keep things organized. And I really don't mind shelving. I keep it fresh by timing myself. Also, I enjoy planning and implementing activities. I prefer projects with a start date and an end date, not ongoing, never-ending projects. Finally, I love to learn, and I love my job because I learn at least one new thing every day. This past summer, I completed a 6th-year program in instructional technology and digital media literacies. I worked alongside subject area teachers from all over Connecticut, learning about how to use technology in the classroom. I see myself using my new skills to help with the Chromebook rollout to make Henry Abbott Tech the best high school on the planet. Libraries are more than just the magical book warehouses I remember from my childhood. In a way, they're even more magical. In public libraries, patrons can check out new videos, explore audiobooks, attend programs, and use computers, all for free. In schools, book circulation has taken a backseat to information skills, internet safety, and research tools, all of which are critical for the success of today's youth. It's an exciting time to be a librarian. I'm glad I chose this journey.